Hello everybody and welcome back to Max Sports Entertainment. My name is Deepak Shankar and we're here to recap the second semifinal of the Women's T20 World Cup, and it was England versus South Africa. It started out, England put into bat first, and they scored 169 for 5. Very quality, solid total in their first innings, with them it was the big two stars of their batting lineup. Sciver-Brunt obviously coming back from the injury, making a huge impact, much needed for England. Scored 75 out of 47, 159.57 strike rate, and then Heather Knight as well, chipping in with a half century herself, 58 out of 47, 123 strike rate. Not much contribution from anyone else because, the highest run score besides those two is Wyatt Hodge with 12. But it was enough to get them to a very strong competitive total. Obviously led by those two. And for South Africa, Shubnim Ishmael, been amazing for South Africa the whole tournament and has been great for them for many years. Took another 2 wickets. And then Marzan Cap also always has been brilliant for them, especially consistently with the ball, then sometimes with the bat. She took 1 wicket as well, economy of just 4. Nankulu Eko Malaba, same thing, took 2 wickets. But the rest of the bowlers had an economy over 10 and didn't take any wickets. England were able to kind of take advantage of Ayobanga Kaka, Nadine Clerk, who anyway, her bowling can be kind of shaky at times, and then Chloe Tryon as well. South Africa, you thought maybe they would have had a chance if they really batted well, and they definitely had the firepower to chase down a total like this. So there was always a chance, but definitely this was probably not a score that they wanted England to have for it to get as high as it did going into the game versus what the reality ended up being in terms of a total that they would have wanted to chase. So that was the first innings. And then the second innings, it was looking good at the start. First 4 or 5 overs were looking good. Laura Woolvart doing her thing, and then Tasman Brits, the opening combo. But then really once Laura Woolvart got out, it just kind of collapsed. The middle order didn't do much of anything. And Tasman Brits scored a century, so she was the only bright spot for South Africa with 51 off 45, strike rate of 113. But yeah, in terms of getting any sort of help really from the rest of the batters, that just did not come. The highest score besides her was actually Laura Woolwart at 17, and then after that it was Nadine de Klerk with 14. In terms of the highest score besides Tasman Brits is 51. For England, they just clamped down and bowled really well, and they also fielded really well as well along with that. So obviously going to be a good combination all around, and led by the great bowler herself, Lauren Bell, as I know biasly from how good she was for RCB, and she has been for England for a while now. 2 wickets, just 7 economy. Just such great variation with the bouncers, the slow balls, and so on and so on. Just really gave the South Africa batters a really hard time. Same with a lot of their spinners. Charlie Dean, 2 wickets. Sophie Eccleston, 1 wicket. Freya Kemp, 1 wicket. Lindsay Smith, 1 wicket as well. So really their whole bowling attack, they all bowled really well. They all took wickets except one of them, and all of their economies were less than 10. And yeah, once they lost a few wickets post Laura Woolvart, South Africa, they could just never recover and put together another decent partnership to take them to be able to chase that total of 169 and get to 170 to get to the final. England ended up with 169 for 5, and then South Africa only ended up with 129 for 8. England ended up winning by 40 runs. They booked their spot in the final against Australia. Obviously, the 2 teams that have performed the best in the tournament, the 2 unbeaten sides. So fittingly, they'll be playing for an ICC trophy. Obviously, England looking for some revenge against their historic arch rival Australia for a bunch of reasons. It'll be interesting too because they're the host nation too, but Australia have obviously been the most successful team with 6 women's T20 World Cups, and then this will be their 8th final. But Australia, by their standards, hasn't won in a while, even though it's only been like like a couple of years maybe. I think it was the 2022 World Cup was the last ICC trophy they won. Yeah, they'll be in some ways due, but then England, having had a drought longer than that, I believe their last was the 2017 ODI World Cup. And they pretty much usually win the tournaments that they host, and they have been playing really well. So we'll see if they can get that revenge on Australia, or if Australia sort of resumes their dominance. If I had to pick, I would probably pick Australia. I just think they're the better and deeper side, just with more quality players, especially because their batting, I mean, they can bat till 10 or 11, and I think their bowling is right on par with England, so I think the batting will be the difference, even with England being a very good side, and then as well, and then also having the home field advantage. But we'll see how it plays out. Should be a very good match. Should be a great finish to what's been an amazing T20 World Cup. And yeah, we'll go from there. Just I mean, yeah. Trying to think of what else. I mean, that's pretty much it. And so yeah, I mean, I guess post this T20 World Cup, not much going on in cricket overall, men's and women's side, I believe. Until the Asian Games for the women, outside of some bilateral series, but in terms of like major tournaments or really major bilateral test series or something like that, not a whole lot going on until next year. So definitely gonna enjoy this final coming up on Sunday, and then obviously in this match, Sciver-Brunt was the player of the match, deservedly so. Even though I think there's definitely an argument that Lauren Bell could have gotten it, so it could have gone either way, but I think definitely no wrong choice between the two, and Sciver-Brunt, I think, probably carried a bigger burden with the bat in terms of how her teammates performed, as opposed to Lauren Bell with the ball, where she had much more help in terms of other bowlers taking wickets and having a low economy and such. I think it's probably a good choice overall, so definitely not mad at that. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. And then this was at the Oval. Both semifinals were at the Oval, and then we got the final on Sunday morning, local U.S. time, 10:30 a.m. And it'll be at Lord's, where obviously every ICC final in England's got to be at the home of cricket, so no surprise that it's at Lord's. So we'll see how it plays out, and we'll go from there. So we'll be back to recap that on either Sunday night or Monday night, whenever I have the time, in terms of getting out that instant reaction to see how that final plays out. So should be in for a good one, and very much looking forward to it. So that's all I had. Appreciate you guys for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.